you'll see the inters. Yes, very wise. The leader will start in 2, 1. Three, two, one.
Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome. It is round number 5 of the NXTGP Porsche Carrera Cup Deutschland. We are here live from the Nurburgring as we enter our German leg, where we will go from the Nurburgring to the Sachsenring to the Hockenheim Ring. I won't be alone in the commentary box. My name is Adam Reed, and tonight I will be alongside Dan Versumpfen for tonight's race. We're in for some fantastic action around this 3.2 mile circuit.
Yeah, thank you, Adam, for that lovely introduction, as always, as we strike down in Germany, like Adam said, as we now look upon the qualifying session of round 5 in this German NXTGP Porsche Super Cup Championship with the usual suspects. As always, we are now seeing a German driver, Luca Metzler, driving on his home track, currently trying to put on in a qualifying lap as best as he can, as Ewart van Kruijsen improves up to P5. Well, I say improves, slots in P5, given it's his very first qualifying lap. The man who does improve is Bram Veldhoen. But what a beautiful day, not only here in the Netherlands, but in Germany as well, Adam.
Indeed, the land of Deutschland looking beautiful as the cars will now look to go on into their qualifying session. 5 minutes in already, so a third into this session, and the driver will just be looking to really try and push the limits as much as they possibly can. We see that Bram Veldhoen in the Manthey Porsche livery, a car that's been kind of synonymous with the Nurburgring, more on the outer loop. But they, instead of going right on towards Coca-Cola curve, they exit the chicane and go left through the field and forest of the Nordschleife. They've won, plenty of times around that long circuit, so I'll be interested to see what he can do. But we've had some brilliant winners overall. There go Franek Sikorski, the Polish driver in the silver class, but he gets taken over by Milo Wagner in the gold number 7. So some really interesting laps being put in immediately. If you want to know the difference between all of the drivers in terms of their gold, silver or bronze, if their number starts with a singular number, so or a double figure number, that's them going. That means they're going to be in the gold class. So 1 down to 99. If they got a 5 at the beginning, so 500 to 599, then they are going to be in silver, and then the 900s to 999 will be in the bronze class. So that's how you can tell the difference, as our drivers now look to just attack the circuit with a bit more precision, a bit more grip underneath their wheels, and they'll be on the fight for pole. I think we've had a bit of a mute there from Dan Versumpfen.
Yes, I've done the old mute yourself but not unmute yourself trick like I did last time around. This time we did it early though, so Adam, we've got that out of the way.
Indeed, we have. It's been some promising lap times so far. Milo Wagner with a 1:54.358 so far. they head their way through the chicane. A bit of a wide moment there from Dennis Blocher in front as Franek Sikorski, who was very competitive at the opening round in Imola, is going to be right on the potential back heels of his teammate here. They go over the line 154.150 for Franek Sikorski. So an improvement lap time in there to put himself 2/10 clear of the rest of the pack. Look at Aaron Jones there. He's just done a 156.223 in his gold category, sitting third overall. That'll put him on the second row of the grid.
It will indeed. Who is improving in this qualifying session than anymore? We had Bram Veldhoen improving. Niklas Werler is currently, he did just improve, the German driver. Ewout van Kruiswijk is currently going green a little bit, but this is Veldhoen, who's had 4 yellow sectors. Can he squeeze something out in the last sector? Yes, he can. It's just good enough for an improvement. And look how close it is between Veldhoen and Kruijsen in this qualifying session. This is Ewout van Kruijsen, but Dennis Blocher is also improving. The Dutchman currently sitting in P4 as Marco Kerkman goes up to P6 with 6 minutes remaining in this qualifying session.
Not long left whatsoever in this qualifying session, as we have a little bit of a dip into the gravel trap there. Franek Sikorski has in fact just done a purple first sector. There's 5 sectors in iRacing's version of the Nurburgring, and it's Sikorski going good in the first sector. They've managed to kind of negotiate that Mercedes-Benz arena, which is so difficult, especially when you open up with a downhill kind of braking zone where it's so difficult to lock a tyre up. The minute you lock a tyre up, you are going right forward, and Sikorski is unfortunately going to lose that pole position there to his teammate Dennis Blocher with a 154.135. Some really strong competitive lap time being put in here by the 2 cars in green. So you can see there all the times at this moment that has been set in this session. I think 2 drivers are yet to set a lap time. That's Amechi Eketsi and Lawrence Den Oden. So they will be hopefully looking to put lap times in these next couple of minutes. Slow down there for Marco Kirkman, who's in P6 for the moment. Just currently second in his silver class. But these really just having to work as hard as possible as try and push himself up a little bit further up. But we are approaching those final 4 minutes. Ewout van Kruijsen can't seem to improve his position, but Bram Veldhoven can, as he does a 55.203 in the bronze category. Goes pole for the bronze drivers.
Franek Sikorski going purple yet again. The gap is oh so close between the 2 teammates, I must say. Pole position for Dennis Blocher, provisional pole position for Dennis Blocher. So far it's Franek Sikorski again going purple, Dennis Blocher going green in the 3rd sector. Let's see what they will do approaching the 4th sector. Also the man currently leading, not leading the bronze field, has the potential to, Metzler, the German driver, 3 green purple sectors. But these 2 drivers have a few laps on the timing board. Ooh, a little snap of oversteer there for Sikorski. Does anybody improve of currently P1 and P2 provisional? The answer is no. And so Dennis Blocher is delighted, just a little bit longer.
Yes, indeed. It's still 12 thousandths of a second between Blocher and Sikorski. They're just pretty much following each other with the silver in behind there. We now switch to Kjartan Den Ruggen in the Ayrton Senna inspired livery as he just jumps across the chicane that's been inputted there. So a little bit of a faster chicane compared to what Formula One would have used. They skipped the NGK chicane. And over the timing line there, Kjartan Den Ruggen with a 155.987 entering the last 2.5 laps. This will be some promising lap time. Ewout van Kruijsen 155.174 for Skyflak Racing. Really good stuff there from the Dutchman as he goes second in the silver class, but I think it's just kind of the speed and the experience coming there from Sikorski that's able to put him in the position that he is, despite having a slowdown penalty, potentially for corner cutting, or I wouldn't say corner cut, more like track extension. Yeah, he's having to serve that at the moment. Marco Kirkman over the line, 156.342. Not enough to go any higher than PA. I wonder if this could spell the end here for Marco Kirkman, in which this lap could very well be, and will be, his final lap.
There's blocker, 2 purple sectors, 2 yellow sectors coming across the line. Now maybe, just maybe, he has 1 lap in it. I don't think so. This is the last lap for Dennis Blocker. He does improve. Does Franek improve as well? The man who's currently in P2, can he beat his teammate over the line? The question the answer on the question is no. And look at this. P9 and P8, Keanu De Rooij and Marco Kerkman are on the exact same time in this qualifying session, at least so far, unless Keanu De Rooij can improve his lap time over the line. He has, only a few turns to go. Where is Marco Kerkman in this fight then? Currently P9. Nicolas Werler may improve. He doesn't. He goes into pit lane, so we keep our eyes on Keanu De Rooij. Also goes in pit lane. Doesn't do it quite that smooth though, but manages to get to pit lane either way. That means that Marco Kerkman highly likely will not drop down to P10. Maybe Laurens and Oude can improve. Well, that answers your question. He's stationary in the middle of the racetrack. That is the most I'm not sure which corner that was. I think that was turn 7. But Marco Kerkman, he is on for an improvement. 2 yellow sectors, 2 green sectors. What will the final sector be? Will it be yellow? Will it be green? Will it even be purple? The chance is there for Marco Kerkman. It's green. Does that improve his time? It does, and that means... It does mean, however, he doesn't improve a position, and that means that qualifying has come to an end, Adam.
Yes, indeed. And here is the grid. Dennis Blocker will be on pole position ahead of Franek Sikorski, with Wagner in P3 and Aaron Jones in 4th. Then we make it onto Jan Duitsweiler in P5, Ewout van Kruijsen in P6. The 3 Dutchmen will be rounded up by Velhoven in P7. Then we find the second of the Germans, Mettler, in P8 with Marco Kerkman in P9. Keanu Den Rooij in P10 on row 5. If we drop to row 6, where we find Nicolas Werler, then we find Lawrence Den Oden, and then there was Eketsi, who never got a lap in, did the Dutchman, so he will be right at the back of the pit lane, right at the back of the grid. That's what I was trying to find. I think it's the amount of time I've been in a pit lane today. I've been down at the local circuit, Brands Hatch today, so plenty of minutes spent in that pit lane. So that's probably why I had it in my head. But we now look to go to the grid now. Get this race underway, and what do you think we're going to be expecting here?
Well, it's a Nurburgring. You know how it goes in turn 1. It's normally a lot of chaos. What I do find to notice is that Dennis Blocker, Franek Sikorski and Aaron Jones are all from the same team. Milo Wagner is definitely in, I'm not sure what the team is called. I can get to that later. Project 91, there it is. So yeah, Milo Wagner is in Project 91 sandwich. See if he can break out of it. See if he can maybe win the race.
There's plenty of opportunities here. That run down towards Hulkhaken. T1 here at the Nurburgring is going to be mighty crucial as they look to now take to the lights. We're about to get sets here. Clutches in. Build the revs. Watch for the light. For the first time, we go racing here at the Nurburgring. Fantastic start there from Dennis Blocher. He'll cut off his teammate Sikorsky, who's already coming under a bit of pressure from Wagner. But look at that, Aaron Jones down the inside of his teammate. They'll try and fan their way out on towards the Mercedes-Benz arena. You're just seeing there on the helicopter camera shot. Three of the first front three cars are all green at the moment. Jones getting up to second. Does he have some pace in those in that Porsche to try and find something here? Back in second. Zucwella fifth. Then we find Ewout van Kruijsen in P6, but through in towards the Valvoline curve at the Ford curve. This is going to be some big opportunity, and looks like a mistake there from Milo Wagner. Slide from Ewout van Kruijsen, and in these early stages, some big kind of maneuvers in these early stages.
Oh, for sure. What an opening lap. Our Project 91 racing team, they are celebrating. They are 1, 2, 3 in this fifth round, in the first race of the fifth round here at NXTGP in this Porsche Carrera Super Cup. And it's currently the Polish driver who did lose one place, Aaron Jones, his teammate, up 2 places after qualifying in P4. He's now definitely at the back of Dennis Blocher. Really show any mercy to his teammate in front? Or is it gloves off, so to say, for these teammates? Aaron Jones coming closer and closer. The Englishman against the Dutchman in Germany. Look how close the front end is compared to the rear of Dennis Blocher, and a mistake already from the Dutchman, and does the Aaron Jones. Oh, there's contact behind as well, and that maybe promotes Franek Sikorsky, the Polish driver, up a place as well, side by side as they go on towards turn 1. But Sikorsky now needing to defend against Gion Zoutewelle, the Dutchman, behind another Dutchman. Will he be able to make the move? Milo Wagner is having a look on the outside now, as well as we have a first car in pit lane already. But can the number 7 go around Gion Zoutewelle? The answer so far is no, and thus, after a spectacular main straight fight, Project 91 Racing are 1, 2, 3 again.
Here indeed. And now we'll continue this little tussle here. I think Franek Sikorsky has found himself in a little bit of trouble here with the rest of the pack. We will find Gian Zoutewelle in P4 there. He's going to be very eager to maybe try and find a way past the all green and white car of Sikorsky, but down in towards the Dunlop curve, you know, is there any opportunities for something to come off this? They're still in alive in this first race, but this could potentially build something on towards the second. You may have heard me just kind of phase out just a little bit, but I promise you that you know, that's not going to be happening too many times this race. It continues to still heat up 3 minutes in to a 20-minute race. A lot has happened so far, and I'm sure we will continue in that way.
Yeah, definitely. You know what I'm interested in? I'll show it here. Is off tracks right here. Off tracks in the Nurburgring are always pretty sensitive. You can only achieve 17 off tracks. If you get 17 off tracks, you do get a drive-through for the very first time. Now this race is 20 minutes long, but an off track isn't far away every single lap, especially on the Nurburgring. Keanu Del Roye currently has 4 off tracks. If he takes, well, around 12 more, which does sound like a lot, but like I said, off tracks, you have them very quickly here at the Nurburgring. Why do you have off tracks very quickly at the Nurburgring? I'll answer that for you. The Nurburgring is one of the oldest scanned iRacing tracks, and therefore uses somewhat outdated track limits. So again, off tracks, you definitely need to keep an eye on that.
Well, indeed, and that's something to, pick and take here. Of course, Gian Zoutewelle was an absolute master last time out at Zandvoort. He took 2 wins, as you know, took a pole position and some fantastic for him
just wasn't able to make anything happen. I think I've dipped out once again, so apologies on that part. But yeah, Dennis Blocher, who's had his time, also won another race. That was Bram Veldhoven. So it looks like him and Den Ruyen, Den Oden has been involved in a bit of an incident here. So hopefully they'll be able to get back on the racetrack here, but there won't be, there won't be too much at play for them.
This is what happened to Bram Veldhoven. He was already pretty far away, and then he lost it coming out of the Schumacher S into the barrier. That's not really healthy for your Porsche Super Cup. So that's what happened to Bram Veldhoven. That is the reason why he is in pit lane.
Dan Rugen with just having a little bit of a tussle here. We're now looking here with Milo Wagner as Franek Sikorski goes and spreads his wings here because he set the fastest lap of a 1:54.380. That's some really promising times here, and that's exactly what he needed. He needed that push to be able to get himself into a position where he can now go on the back and challenge his teammates. But with Aaron Jones in the hot seat, in the driver's seat, there's still a lot of chances left in this race. I think Gian Dutvella, who's won multiple times in this championship, will potentially be looking for a podium at least at this rate. He's got the most podiums of absolutely anyone in this championship, 5 of them, along with Dennis Blocher. But with the way things are going, it looks like Blocher's going to be able to get that 6th and maybe put himself in front here. So with the amount of kind of pressing that's going on here between every single driver in this pack.
Whoa, my
with big
God.
promising here, door to door. That's Keanu Den Rugen and Nicholas Verla having a big old tussle. The Dutchman coming out on top on this part, but I expect a second part coming in very soon. It's just having its own interval.
Oh my God, battling for the absolute wooden spoon as the replay doesn't allow for any, how we can see how that move happened, but that was a real shame for Niklas Welle as Marco Kerkman is dropping down the order. Oh my God, look at that absolutely destroyed front end. Earlier in the race he crashed already. This is Marco Kerkman losing it. Maybe out of turn 3, keeping it stable so far. So where does he lose it? He loses it in the entry of turn 4. Very strange place, I must admit, to lose your car. But we have a fight for P3 currently. This is Gian Zoutewelle in the white and blue car, trying to overtake Franek Sikorski. Doesn't have the edge. Gian Zoutewelle does, as the inside, which will turn to be the outside in the next corner. Can he stay side by side with Franek Sikorski? Gian Zoutewelle, the answer is yes. And does he have the inside for the next corner? But the Polish driver is still there, still a force to be reckoned with. Maybe contact between these two drivers. What a fantastic fight for these two. The Polish driver wanting to cut Milo Wagner off, which is the blue and white car as well behind. Gian Zoutewelle defending. Look at that. There goes Milo Wagner on Sikorski. Sikorski almost losing the back end and now dropping down to P5. This is not the way Sikorski has, imagine this race going at him.
Absolutely not. There's still a lot to go in this race. We've still got 11 minutes and a lot can happen in that time. So if you are maybe just still sitting there like Franek Sikorski is, who's been kind of bullied out of those podium places after looking incredibly quick. He's just got to kind of get his head back down into the cockpit and really focus on any form of momentum that he potentially had. But you can see there, just mounting the curb on the outside of the chicane. We're all right on board for the first time with Dennis Blocher as he looks to now go after Aaron Jones. They'll carve their way over the line. Blocher was faster last time around here, but in towards turn number 1, he's just a little bit too far back to go, make a potential lunge on his teammate. Remember, as I say, they are teammates, but they all racing for the same kind of piece of tarmac here, and as well as some extra points in the championship, with Jones in first and then Blocker in second. Zutfella will be in third with Wagner and Sikorski. That's your top 5 Grand Croatian at the moment in P6. Werner in 7th, then Ruchen, Metzler, Kirkman rounding out your top 10. But this is the main battle on your screens.
Well, you wouldn't believe it, but we already are halfway through this very first race of 2 races here. Now, I point out the off tracks right now because we are halfway, and currently if Keanu Del Roy keeps it up, he will get a drive-through exactly at the end of the race. Aaron Jones doesn't have an off track yet. He's been driving for 10 minutes and doesn't have an off track yet. That's, well, highly above average, let's say, compared to other people around him and especially behind him, because Aaron Jones currently leading the pack quite comfortably, even though qualifying in P4. The man from the UK has gained 3 places in this race so far. As well, while we're talking about moving up, there goes Milo Wagner. He overtakes Gian Zoutewelle. How that happened, I'm not really sure. So let's see if we can get a replay of that. It seems like Gian Zoutewelle just lets Milo Wagner by, so I'm not sure what the exact deal with these two is, but Milo Wagner, the German driver, currently in P3, hoping to stay there, of course.
Lap improvements there. Look at that. Just
Oh
dear. That's a big moment there for Stian Zutfala. Goes a little bit too deep on the brakes and has to jump off the road to avoid the rear of Milo Wagner. That could have been all sorts of Larry in that moment. We'll have a look back at what will potentially happen further on. This is Franek Sikorski, who just went slightly off the road there, and a bit of a slide, a bit of a tank slapper. The rear starting to just slide out ever so slightly, and again had another snap in towards this corner. This is Milo Wagner. So we're just scrolling through a couple of replays, so unable to find. I think there was just because there was no contact or no kind of track limits involved in any of that. That's why we couldn't really find it. But I just wanted to kind of note Aaron Jones and Dennis Blocker had 200ths of a second between them in the favour of Aaron Jones. So that is some really, really close level stuff. And if these drivers can continue at this kind of rate that they're knocking on, I think we can see some big kind of changes. We're seeing the lap time differences there between now Jones and Block, and you're seeing there on how close they're being, how competitive. The only time they kind of let each other be with outside of a 1/10 of a second was back on lap 3, which is some incredible consistency from both. Block is still trying to go after the Englishman, but if he can continue at this pace, I think we're in for a little bit of a fizzled out fight here.
You can kind of visually see Dennis Blocker just being helped by the slipstream to pull him back into this fight here. Without the slipstream, I think Dennis Blocker would be kind of done for, but it's always just nearly not enough to send one down the inside of turn 1. You can definitely do that, but then you need to have a closer gap when you are Dennis Blocker, unless you're Dennis Blocker with some Daniel Ricciardo genes that find himself in the middle of this race. But so far that isn't happening, and thus Dennis Blocker staying P2 at the moment. He has 6 minutes to make a move though on Aaron Jones, the current leader in this race. He's been leading all the way since lap 2, if I recall. Aaron Jones, well, he's basically just in complete control in this race, not letting Dennis Blocker unsettling the Englishman. So currently the number 4 doing a very well job to keep his head cool.
You have to really put yourselves in the mind of the drivers. What will they be thinking? Aaron Jones will definitely be a man who is right now thinking a lot about what is going on in his rear view mirrors. He won't be settled in the slightest. He'll be thinking about what is Dennis Blocker thinking right now. Blocker will definitely be wanting to go for a move at some point during this during the last 5 minutes of this race. But whether it will happen remains to be a question. So it's an all gold 1, 2, 3, 4 with Franek Sikorski leading 8.2 seconds to the back of to the, I should say, the front bumper, realistically, of Ewout van Krooijen. Van Krooijen, as I say, second in that silver class, losing lots of time just because he hasn't been able to match the pace. We've seen how quick Sikorski has been. We saw that he was 12 thousandths of a second behind his teammate Blocker in the qualifying session. And what about the bronzes? Well, that's going to be going down to Lukas Metzler in P9 there. Unfortunately, Bram Belfone has suffered a little bit during the race. He's got a he's got a meatball flag, so that does not spell good for him either. So some strong moments in this race, but 4 minutes left to go. What do we still expect him?
Well, I hope the Polish driver again running wide, and that means you get an off track. So every time I get a message somebody went off track, you definitely do get an actual off track. We can see that right here, the amount of off tracks everybody gets. Kiana de Roy has 10. He can get 7 more. Franek Sikorski is 9. He can get 8 more. But especially in the minds of off tracks, when you just keep getting off tracks, it also slows you down mentally, because you know, in your mind you think, I need to stop getting these off tracks, as Milo Wagner has a slowdown. You can see the yellow icon behind his name. That means he's got a slowdown. He's got too much of the Schumacher S, and therefore he has a slowdown of 1 second, and he's trying everything to keep Gian Zoutewelle at bay. But Zoutewelle now side by side with Milo Wagner. Wagner does he have a penalty? No, he still has to slow down. He needs to, because the timing for that slowdown is running out. So when is he getting rid of it? Because if you don't get rid of it, you will be punished with a drive-through. Milo Wagner doing absolutely everything. Oh, Sikorski is completely surprised by how slow Milo Wagner is going through that last corner. Maybe the Polish driver wants to send one down the inside, and so he does send one down the inside. Contact between the two drivers, a little bit of door banging, but Franek Sikorski tries to take that 4th place from Milo Wagner. Side by side they go. Milo Wagner giving a little bit of a push on that front end, exiting turn 3, and that means he can retain that P4, but he's lost the podium position, Adam.
He has indeed, and I think there'll be a little bit of disappointment for him. For Milo Wagner, I think that he will look to try and potentially come back, but he's now feeling pressure here from Franek Sikorski, who's had a bit of an up and down race here in this session. He started on that front row, then managed to put himself up into a position where he was able to be right with the leading trio with a lot of pressure behind him, but then kind of hit to the side, got a couple of trading paints maneuvers sent on him, and he's dropped down to P5. Right now he's looking to just try and take a P4 at least here. I don't think he'll be able to pass Zian Zoutewelle anytime soon, especially with the time remaining, but Sikorski very much trying to push on with Jones and Blocker still at half a second.
Still half a second indeed. Aaron Jones in the lead. And that's, wow, Dennis Blocker maybe intimidating or trying to intimidate his teammate by looking to the inside a little bit. But right now it's still a Project 91 racing 1-2. Last lap time of Aaron Jones was 1:54.805. That's 2/10 faster than his teammate just behind. Teammate Dennis Blocker, who, well, I say tries everything to get that lead, but I think when you're Dennis Blocker right now, you're 1-2 with the team. Franek Sikorski has fallen down, because don't forget, Project 91 Racing had a 1-2-3 almost in the back, but the Polish driver in the 575 Porsche Carrera Super Cup car just hasn't found the pace, and thus it's a 1-2 only, I want to say, for Project 91 Racing.
With the clock ticking down to, well, I should say ticking up to 20 minutes. That is race now done and dusted, but we still got a checker flag to go and pass here. Down in towards the hairpin at the bottom of the circuit. Really trying to push hard is Francek Sikorski to put himself up into a really top position. It's been very impressive to see. We now look back here to Adam Jones and Dennis Blocker. Will Blocker try and find a move very, very late on? He's got probably one opportunity left on the racing circuit here to get anything done on the Brisson. They'll file their way on towards the fast right kink. We had a momentary onboard, which was great there from Dennis Blocker. He will put himself in the wing mirrors of Adam Jones, but there won't be anything in doing here. A little bit of blipping here from Jones up the inside, go Blocker, but it won't be enough. Through the final corner and on toward the main straight here, it won't be quite the drag race we were wanting. Adam Jones take race one here at the Nurburgring. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. 0.2 of a second. It's Blocker from Zutbala, Wagner, and then Sikorski, the gold winner. And I think also Luca Metzler taking P8 right at the death there to take the bronze winner as well. What an amazing race we had.
Oh, what a fight here for the bronze. Oh, there goes Keanu Dan Roy. Loses the car. This is the moment again. Loses the car as he was battling with Luca Metzler. Well, I'm going to tell you that must have felt good if you're Luca Metzler in that bronze car. Well, see if we have the results in already. Seems like my broadcast tool does in fact not have the results ready, and thus we kind of need to do it with the currently the standings on your left, but it's clear that Project 91 Racing does have a 1-2 in the bag, and well, that victory was won by Aaron Jones. But what a fantastic race we had here, Adam, on well, a first race, and we still have a reverse grid to go.
We do indeed, and we're looking out for that massively. We're seeing there Lawrence Den Oden at the moment in time. I think he's had a bit of a difficult race, to say the least, as he passes his way now on towards the home straight. He will weave, just kind of say to himself, well, I managed to get to the end of the race here, albeit down in 11th, but you know, he will look to come back even better and will probably get that reverse grid pole here. So when we do, we'll try and get to the results when possible. But overall, here they are. Aaron Jones is your winner at the privateer, winning by 0.2 of a second over Dennis Blocker for the Project 91 Racing team. Then we have Jan Zutvela, followed by David Wagner and Francek Sikorski for Project 91 as well. Then we come and see the first of the Skyflak Racing team cars, Ewout van Krooijen, the Dutchman, followed by Nicholas Verla, and then his compatriot of Metler in P8. Then we find Keino Den Rooijen, who got spun round in the last point of the race with Marco Kirkman and Lawrence Den Oden. Then Elhoen not quite able to finish the race, unfortunately. He had damage earlier on in the race, and the taxi never got going either. So that's 12 cars that started the grid and 11 of them finishing. But what an amazing first race we had. As our drivers will now be except for warm-up, I want to kind of pass this over to you, Dan. You know, what were kind of your standouts during that first opening race?
Well, I mean, we had some great fights for the lead. We had some great fights for P3, 4, and 5. See if Project 91 Racing can get that 1, 2, 3 on their name in the second race. For now, we're going to have a little bit of a break. We'll see you in about 3 minutes again for the lineup of the second race here with that reversed top 10. All right, good. Let me just hold on. Yeah, let me just I'm gonna change something here. So let's go to the... No, for fuck's sake, I don't want scenic. I want the roll bar. Hmm. Alright, I have been cooking. Yeah, we can go back in, I don't know, a few seconds. Yeah, let me just put this on. Hide everything. Team, hide. Alright, are you ready? Alright, well, here we go in 3, 2, 1. Oops. Oh my god, that's what you call an opening, especially for a reverse grid. Remember what I told everyone, maybe, just maybe, Project 91 can get that 1, 2, 3. Well, already, not even after lap 1, they are running 2, 3, 4 almost, as it's currently Dennis Blocker who needs to defend against Milo Wagner, because Milo Wagner definitely wants that 4th place. And look at that, Aaron Jones already going for the lead. He's behind Keanu De Roy up the inside on the chicane. That's bold, it's brave, but it's beautiful for Aaron Jones, as now as well as his teammate. That's Franek Sikorski, the Polish driver, who had practically a nightmare of a first race. Now trying to get back as best he can, as my broadcast tool is acting fantastically right now. But the Polish driver does the old fake it till you make it. On the inside he goes. He didn't make it quite yet. He P2 so far. And around the outside of Den Roy, can he accomplish the move finally through turn 2? And so he does. And so it's P2 for the Polish driver. Certainly is, as we now look at Keanu De Roy maybe eyeing up Milo Wagner once at 4th place, but it is also wise to go and battle in the chicane with Gian Zouterwelle. He is coming closer. Oh, there's contact between these drivers, and it's all going loose. Oh, there's Milo Wagner. He's stopping. He's had something of a moment, and now even getting overtaken by Luca Metzler there. But look at this fight. Gian Zouterwelle trying everything to keep the cars behind. It's Keanu De Roy. It's 3 wide coming into turn 1. Now it isn't anymore, but it's Gian Zouterwelle on the inside. It's then Ewald van Kruijsen and Keanu De Roy just behind there. De Roy in that Senna colored car, but it's van Kruijsen who swoops around the outside, but doesn't have the momentum on the exit of the corner. My god, oh, contact, and that's Keanu De Roy. He's going around. Let's see what's happened there. Oh, almost contact again. Was there contact? I couldn't quite see, but oh my god, it's absolutely kicking off as Laurens Den Oude loses a place to Marco Kerkman after having a huge oversteer moment. Oh my god, let's look at that crash from Keanu De Roy. Ja, just contact. Most certainly, indeed, fantastic onboard there as we switch over to Dennis Blocker, see what he has in store just behind Franek Sikorski. And yes, it's a 1-2-3 for Project 91 Racing so far. Can they keep this up? That is the question. Dennis Blocker driving behind his teammate. Behind Dennis Blocker is Gian Zoutewelle. I sometimes pronounce it wrong as Zoutewelle, but those are two different things here in the Netherlands, as Ewout van Kruijsen has, believe it or not, a slow down penalty here, as the Schijfvlak racing driver needs to do all he can to serve the penalty as quickly as he can. Oh, yes. And he doesn't, and thus Ewout van Kruijsen keeps that position for now. But fantastic little squabble between these two drivers here, respectively, for P6 and for P7. Ewout van Kruijsen hoping to retain that P7, obviously, with well, what, let's say 11 minutes to go in this second race. So we had a full qualifying session, 120 minutes race, and right now we are watching almost the closing moments of this fifth round of this Porsche Carrera Super Cup here at NXTGP. As let's see, I was talking about off tracks just last race. Something happened to Ewout van Kruijsen. He's stationary. Oh, van Kruijsen. He went off track. Let's see what happens there. Is this can't quite see it as the replay doesn't allow me to look at what happened to Ewout van Kruijsen. He just lost it in the Schumacher S and even touched the barriers there. Absolute drama for Ewout van Kruijsen, as well, his race is finished. Commentators curse really, Adam. I said, yeah, he probably wants to retain his P6, and now he's down in P11. Yeah, Aaron Jones, the man, he has a bit more I-rating on his hands than his blocker, if I recall, as well. Currently just having the upper hand in race 2, having the upper hand in race 2 and race 1, just controlling the pace all the way through, and that doesn't seem to change anytime soon as well. I'm broadcasting to still, or maybe it's I-racing, doing a little bit weird with the cameras, so sometimes the cars just get out of shot and then switch back, but so far Dennis Blocker coming through the chicane. Let's see how many off tracks everybody already has. There's not a lot of pressure here. It's 8 off tracks actually for Dennis Blocker, so he kind of needs to watch out there. It's Ewout van Kruijsen who has had the most off tracks so far, but he went off, he crashed into the wall, so that's kind of what you expect, but no real shenanigans when it comes to drive-throughs and off tracks. You sometimes get seen in endurance racing, not so much in sprint racing. 8 minutes to go. So that's 4 minutes less than 12 minutes. As we see Marco Kerkman for Schijfvlak Racing. 11 drivers racing on the track so far. Oh, Bram Veldhoen. No, he just loses it. Oh, don't let it roll. Oh, just stop on track. And luckily, nobody got involved there. It was, maybe we can see it right here on the replay. This is going to be pretty close. Oh, yeah, there he goes. That already was Keanu De Rooij passing Bram Veldhoen. The yellow car not of Bram Veldhoen not enjoying his best race today. Indeed, they do. And as you can look to the driver in front of you, which is Milan Wagner, he doesn't seem to have a really streamlined front end, the German, or the rear end the German driver has. You can see the difference in lap times as well. It's, favors for Franek Sikorski, who's lapped 4 tenths faster last time around. Let's see what they do this time around. Coming across the line, the number 7 car just in front of Sikorski. Let's see what lap time in lap 8 is. Indeed, the Polish driver Sikorski gained 2 tenths. Well, if he keeps this up, Adam, this might well indeed be a fight for P4 and P5. Oh, this is the same crash. Indeed, and you can tell that to these guys, you can tell that to Dennis Blocker again chasing down Aaron Jones for the lead of this race with 3 minutes left. That equals roughly 2 laps here at the Nurburgring, because when the clock hits 20:00, then you will drive your last laps. Keanu Del Roy drops down a place. Something happened to the number 12, roughly at the end of the lap. Let's see what I can't see. He just went off track, so let's see what happened to Keanu then. This is indeed what happened to Keanu Del Roy. I can't get anywhere earlier the replay, but he just went off, lost it in the Schumacher S, as Dennis Blocker gets an off-track right here, chasing down the man currently in the lead, called Aaron Jones, as they get closer and closer at him with 2 minutes to go. How does that work? How does that work? The circuit isn't even located in Luxembourg. So how does that work? Do your homework, Adam. Do your homework. He's done more homework than me. But I'm quite curious. I'm gonna search it up, Luxembourg GP, because I've been in Luxembourg and I can tell you there was no there was no Nurburgring circuit to be found over and in that part of the world. Now, Dennis Blocker getting closer. He might as well try it in turn 1. The gap is 2.5 tenths. It's coming down because of the slipstream. Aaron Jones choosing the defensive line so that Dennis Blocker, the Dutchman just behind him, can't do anything about ascent in turn 1. Surely, Dennis Blocker already knows I can't send it too hard, because we're basically almost driving a 1-2-3. But Franek Sikorski, something happened to Sikorski, because wasn't he driving P3 just a while ago? Or have I totally missed that? I think I've totally missed it. Yeah, see, that's completely mean. This is my memory of a goldfish, I guess. Ah, for sure, that finish was fantastic to see, but it wasn't enough for Dennis Blocker, and I'm sure he'll wonder what he could have done differently to, you know, get the win, get the dub, get the bread, whatever you want to call it. But it isn't enough, and you know, it's back to the drawing board for Dennis Blocker next time if he wants to get that win. Keanu de Roye indeed does have a drive-through, and thus it's going to be Niklas Werler who will finish in last place. And if you look at that Porsche looks quite beaten up, if I must say so myself. Niklas Werler in that 509. Well, we've had quite the race. We've had quite the two races, if I can say confidently. Fantastic fight for the lead, especially at the end, Adam. Well, I'm not really sure how the championship currently stands, but if it's this close altogether every race, I'm sure the championship must be close, and therefore I'm quite excited for the Sachsen ring. See if I can beat there, and yeah, see how this championship pans out. Great race today, anyway, especially for the lead. But it's not Project 91 Racing Team who can have a 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you know, behind their names as a team.